Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of whatever activity that you participate in, there is a highest title. In most things, it's called Grandmaster. Now in chess, Grandmaster is actually the second highest title you can achieve. The first is Chess Streamer of the Year. Having secured that title, I set my sights on the Grandmaster title, which, that was a joke, is the most prestigious title in chess. Now, I'm an international master. Many of you know that, some of you don't. That's the second highest title in chess. And I get this question a lot. What is the difference between you and a Grandmaster? And it's one letter, but it's a lot more than that. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you a bunch of games that show you my shortcomings as a chess player. This video is extremely depressing for me, and this is a moment for you to now laugh at me because I always laugh at you, right? I'm always the big dog, like, hey, 600 elo chess, hey. Well, today, I'm just gonna expose myself, please God, no, if chess-wise. And this entire video was brought on by this game. So there is, I have a massive psychological block in my head when I play really good players. I panic, I throw away good positions. I am rarely outplayed from start to finish, but I frequently struggle in the later stages of the game with holding my composure, with staying focused, and often in good positions, I completely melt. I just, like a puddle of like butter. Just so I was playing a game. I was playing a young Turkish player, and I played an interesting Sicilian opening. This was a couple of days ago. This entire game brought me to make this video for you. My opponent played directly into my preparation. He played bishop b4, and he played this move d5. Now, in this position, the move d5 actually has to be played after queen a5. King b1 and then d5 so that black can put the rook on d8. All right. Now I actually know this because I recently worked on an opening repertoire with e takes d5, rook takes d8, and my opponent just did this. And what's bad about that move is that it just loses a pawn. Now a lot of people do this because they think, well, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of activity. I'm gonna play bishop e6, but at the end of the day, you're just down a pawn, and I knew the opening better than my 2,900 rated opponent. So what do you do when you're up a pawn? Well, you trade pieces, right? I'm not trading because he's higher rated. I'm trading because I'm removing his active pieces, and I'm just a clean pawn up. I don't mind a queen trade. So he goes queen a5. I play knight c3, and I do this, and I'm like, wait, I'm just a clean pawn up. Like I'm just winning. I'm winning. So most people, when they're winning, go, okay, well, this is what I have to do to win this position. When I get a winning position against good players, the first thing that goes into my mind is either don't mess this up or you're gonna find a way to mess this up. And probably what I need is someone to punch me in the face and then after that send me to a sports psychologist. This is the major thing that is holding me back. It holds me back in over-the-board tournaments and it holds me back in any games I play online. Watch. In most of the cases, I can maintain my composure for a while. My opponent plays queen b6, and here I can trade rooks, and I can even trade this rook. And I thought, I'm just gonna trade down. I'm not trading down because, again, I'm scared of my opponent. I'm trading down because I'm just a pawn up, and all endgames are winning for me, right? So knight d4, bishop d3, he goes here. I threaten a checkmate. He plays here, and now he's just tangled. This hits this is pinned, this is pinned. I'm like, all right, that's it. I tricked him into a bunch of trades. Look at this position. I mean, no human on the planet will lose this. Sure, but can I win it? So he goes queen c5. I play queen d2. Now there's a very powerful pin. He plays queen e5, f4 here, and now I notice I have a very nice tactic utilizing the fact that the rook at the end is not well protected. I play knight b5. And I'm attacking a7, and I'm attacking this. He cannot take because of the pin. Take, knight a7. I'm just 2 pawns up. I have completely outplayed this dude for 30 moves. Queen b6 hits my knight, but I can go here. That's nothing because his knight is hanging. He can give me checks. He's just losing. He is just down 2 pawns and 7 seconds. Now, the only thing he has in this position is hopes for a draw. He can't beat me on time because we both get 1 second bonus. It's Title Tuesday. The only draw that he has, well, frankly, I don't know where he has a draw, right? I'm just going to bring my knight back. And after 33 perfect moves, in this position, I can play c3, kick out his knight, and basically win a third pawn and just win the game. Now, instead of that, what I do is I begin panicking. And I go for a queen trade and throw the game in one move. So all that work gone, because now he has check and knight e2, and this is a very famous back rank draw, because the king cannot escape because of a fork, and it's a perpetual. He sends me back, and we repeat moves, and we repeat moves. He can't take my queen, it's defended. I'm like, all right, wow, I'm an idiot, I threw a draw. Then he plays queen d1, and now I give him a check, he avoids a check, and now I have 7 seconds to just make sure that I don't do anything really dumb. Like, I see all of these discovered attacks, but I can always go here. I can also take this pawn. I'm thinking, you know, of a lot of different things, and I blunder mate in 3. Knight d3 check. Now I can only go here. Queen c2. I'm not defended, and it's mate on the next move. Like, I'm sharing this game with you, right? And you're probably sitting there like, all right, so what? You lost. No, but you have to understand, when you lose games like this 100 times, like, part of your soul dies. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to, like, it is legitimately unfathomable that you could lose this position. It's not like we even have a piece imbalance. He doesn't have a bishop for a knight. He doesn't have a passed pawn. Nothing. It's completely the same stuff, but I have 2 more of it. It's like losing a football match up 2 players. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, this is just the start. And I went through, and I didn't. Shout out to Taki, who's one of my moderators. I asked to dig through my games. I couldn't bear to look at it. And I said, find a bunch of games that I lost in totally winning positions. Folks, it just gets worse. Like, it really, truly just gets worse and worse. And this happens in over-the-board games, too. Here was a game I played against Mikola Bortnyk. Very, very strong I am. And he plays on the Gotham Knights. This was a Carl Khan game. I actually showed this game in a YouTube video a while ago, I think. So I'm gonna go a little bit faster. You know, again, opening knowledge, sublime. I get a completely winning position from the opening. With black, I get a completely winning position, okay? I knew that this was a Panov Carl Khan line. This is this line where you put your bishop on g7 and you give up your d5 pawn, and white struggles to defend these pawns because obviously they're doubled. So I played this very unique a5 idea, and by move 11, move 12, I was just completely winning. Like, the game was over. Why? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces ready to go, and he can't defend this position from a tactical standpoint. He wastes another move with his bishop, knight e4, lights out, -4. -4, move 13. I mean, I have the skills to play on the same level as these 2,900, 3,000 rated players. I really do. But at some point in every one of these games, my brain goes numb, completely numb. All right? And when your brain goes numb, you can call it mental free. Okay, anyway, rook c1, rook d1. Knight takes d4, and this is the position. His king marooned in the center of the board. I am up a pawn. He hasn't moved his knight or his rook. Mate is probably coming. He plays bishop to d3. I give him a check, and here I make a mistake. I play knight c2, thinking, all right, I can win both these pawns. I don't need to play knight c2. Of course, I can just bring my rook or something. But okay, knight c2, he plays knight d2, I take on a4, and I'm still basically completely winning. Like, his king is stuck in the center of the board. Now, from this point forward, what do I do? First of all, I panic, so I start spending more time, right? Like, queen c2, rook d8, all these moves look good, kicking out the bishop, so what do I play? I play rook d8, knight e2, suddenly he's defending his king, so I try to kick out his bishop. Now he gives me a winning position again, bishop e3. Now, the easiest move in the world here is just queen takes b2 and push the a-pawn. Just queen takes b2, push the a-pawn. Queen takes b2 and push the a-pawn. What do? I play a4. He can now take on b7. He doesn't play that. Queen takes b2, I play now. All right. Bishop f6, trying to kick his queen out. And now rook d8 is winning for me. Of course, I have 3 seconds. Like I said, I didn't manage my time well. And in a span of like 5 moves, I hang my queen. Like, he attacked my pawn. I could have pushed. Instead, I went queen b3, and I hung my queen. And let me tell you, I just didn't see it. Like I said, my brain goes completely numb. I just completely panic. Like, of course, I'm looking at this position now, like, why didn't I play a3? I have no idea. I cannot explain it to you. Like, okay, 2 games down. This game, the next 2 games hurt so bad. So bad. I mean, they hurt. Oh my God. So I was playing Bogdan Deac. This guy is like a 2700 young player. I mean, he's super good. And we had a very offbeat opening. He played like a, I mean, as you can see, we're both sort of doing some weird, stupid stuff in the opening. Doesn't make a huge difference. But from the opening stage, I'm just better. Like, I just have a rock solid position. And he trades with me. And we just get this. And it's -3. I mean, again, in the first 15, 20 moves, I am completely winning against a 3,000 rated player. I mean, opening, I have the opening abilities easily of a 2,900, 3,000 online player. Like, easily. But then, okay, when I tell you guys that this is one of the most painful defeats of my life, it's not an exaggeration. So, of course, first, what's going to happen? I'm going to throw, right? So he plays b4. He sacrifices a pawn to create a blockade, and I take a second pawn, right? He goes here, I go here, and now he sacrifices his rook to try to win back a few of my pawns and opens up the position for his pieces like this. Now, of course, he is completely lost. Completely lost. But it's very hard for me to break through here, and it's also very hard for me to get rid of his bishop, right? So I'm sort of stuck. I try to play h5. He just plays h4. I'm like, man, like it's really hard to break through. So I play rook c8. He goes here. I play rook c2. He goes here. I take his pawn. I'm like, okay, I have to be winning. I mean, I took his a pawn, but now I can't move my rook. What do I do? Well, what I do is I start panicking, right? I give him a check. Now I go a2. Suddenly bishop d4 is threatening both my rook and mate. So now I'm losing, probably, right? Wait, maybe not. Rook f7. Queen b. Look at the time. I have 8 seconds to 1:30. 8 seconds. This is how panicked I was. I could not physically bring myself to move faster. 8 seconds I have on the clock here. Remember, 1 second bonus. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a draw. It's a draw. He's going to threaten mate. I'm going to threaten his queen. He's going to give me check. I'm going to threaten his queen, right? He goes here. I go here. Rook f8. I'm like, okay, it's going to be a draw. That's it. And he's not going to be able to take my rook. And suddenly, after repeating, he goes here. Trying to play on the fact that I have 4 seconds. But now he has 11. He spent all this time. He didn't want to draw. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my God. What do I do with 4 seconds on the clock? My predator brain kicks in. Rook d1. So now I'm hunting again. I find rook d1 pinning him. Sometimes this happens. My brain recalibrates, turns back on. Rook d8 check. Of course I can block, but I have king h7. And here I find an absolutely spectacular idea. He can take this pawn to win my queen, but I have rook takes bishop. And I'm queening. I'm going to make a new queen. He plays bishop takes f5, losing the game. What he had to play was rook d4 and maintain this pin. He blunders the game away. I outplay him with seconds on the clock. With seconds on the clock. He plays queen d5, attacking my rook on f7 and my bishop on g6. How do you guard both at the same time? By very casually sliding back. But I had just made a queen. So in my mind, I was like, I want to go here. When he played queen d5, I picked up my queen and I brought it back to a7 to defend my rook. And before I could move it there, I lost on time. I was so nervous. I couldn't bring my queen here fast enough. And I flagged. I flagged. I lost on time. The variety in which I've managed to lose these games in this video is just some of the most pain. Look at the next one. I'm playing like all the Gotham Knights. I played Mikola. I played Big Fish. Big Fish. You guys know Big Fish. Feraseyev plays on the Gotham Knights. Plays Hikaru all the time. This game was not dominant from start to finish by any stretch of the imagination, like some of these other games. This was a very complicated back and forth game. Also, Feraseyev always likes to play offbeat, aggressive openings, so me getting an advantage from the opening is nothing substantial. It was just a very, like an even game. I mean, I was very fine in the first 15 moves. So we were on equal terms. Then here I did something, I played like a total chicken. I decided to trade pieces, and I was worse. Like I got to this end game, and I was worse, but notice the time. Okay, I'm already down 40 seconds, right? I'm already down 40 seconds. But I'm still, you know, poking and asking questions. I got my rook trapped here. I made a really stupid mistake. And I was losing. But I fought back. And he blundered. But look at the time. Look at the time, right? I'm threatening knight f7. He cannot go back. He cannot go back. If he plays like f5, for example, then I have knight f7, king h5, knight f6, king h4, and he's getting mated. Like there's mate, g3, oh, rook b4, bishop b4, but there's g3 and then like knight g5. So all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I'm beating Big Fish. This is completely nuts. Now he plays g5, right? So I play knight f7. Look at the time spent. Knight e5, I spent 8 seconds. I spent 12 seconds finding the courage to play this move. That's just pure nervousness. Okay? He plays king g6. Now, of course, you don't even think here. You just come back. You come back because if king f5, you play rook e3 and just g4. Okay? Look how much time I spent on rook f3. Another 13 seconds, and it's a bad move. Now he plays knight d7, taking away knight e5. I give a check. It's probably a draw, but he comes forward. He comes all the way forward. He does this. Look how much time I'm spending on these moves, by the way. I now have 15 seconds. His king has no legal moves. You know what's winning here for white? I find king g2, but I have 5 seconds on the clock, okay? I have 5 seconds on the clock. Where is the win? How do I win this position with white? Well, first, I have to play knight f6, because what that does is it opens up knight e5. So I find this move, and now I have 4 seconds. He attacks my rook, and that simply loses. Why does it lose? Because I can play knight e5, knight f3. But in my mind, I'm thinking knight e5, he's going to play like rook b3. But what does that change? I still go here, and I'm winning, right? Like, the whole point was to go here. He's made it, but I have 4 seconds. And I see my rook is hanging, so what do? I play rook f3. And suddenly he plays h5, and that's it. The key difference is that per move, he is going to be more accurate than me. He plays h5 in 1 second. 1 second. He just immediately... Right? I play rook g3. Now he's winning. And I resigned. I think I lost on time or I resigned, but he's winning now. He's winning because I cannot defend rook f2. And if I go back, he takes g4, and he's completely winning. He's completely winning because he's up 2 pawns. This game, of course, I am less mad about, but it just shows you how terrified I am of these players. Like, I spent 12 seconds taking... What am I doing? Just take the pawn! Just take the ball. And by the time it comes time to make really important decisions, I have 5 seconds on the clock because I just physically cannot bring myself to play any faster. But okay, this was like a wild game, and you can say this was time. The last game was not wild. I was just better for like 40 moves. This game better, and the last one I have for you is, again, we're in my backyard. We're playing in the Carl Khan, and yeah, this one was not really time related, I don't think. It was advanced Carl Khan. I played a line, knight e7, knight g6, that I had been playing for some time at that point. And I'm playing Robert Hovhannisyan from Armenia. Very strong player. And again, 2900. So what happens in the opening? I play h5, I play f6, he plays this. Look at the evaluation after 10 moves, black is better. I mean, black is just better. Like, It's nothing surprising, I think. He plays here, I play this, knight g2, and I start my attack on his king. I'm down a pawn, we have opposite side castling. He plays bishop g4. I don't play fully accurately. He manages to get like a slightly better position from the opening. But I start an absolutely monster attack here. And he misplays, right? He gets a little bit spooked by my attack. He had some computer defense. He could have played like knight f4, and then he could have played like knight f3, and then he could have walked his king out. But I bluff a little bit, and all of a sudden, I'm winning. All of a sudden, his king is being hunted into the center of the board. Knight takes c2, and he sacrifices his queen to survive. He sacrifices his queen. He's going to win a rook, and it's queen and 2 pawns versus knight, bishop, rook, which is 11-11. Make a wish. All right. I have a minute. I play e5. He has to go here. I play knight c5. This is checkmate. I mean, like, he's going to lose. Of course he's going to lose, right? Like, he plays knight e1, right? Now, looking at this position right now, you know what move I would play here? I would play queen to d1 without even thinking queen d1. Why? Because this pins the knight, and d4 is now mate in 1. It covers all his escape squares. Queen d1 probably just ends the game, because if he gives me check, I can go king c7, I can play king. Like, this is not a concern, because I'm safe. I mean, I can, I'm giving back some advantage, but it's not really that much of a problem. Of course, queen d1. Or, I mean, Jesus, take his pawns! Right? So what do? I play d4 check. 3 seconds, fine, trying to play fast. Okay, now I play queen f5. Not the most accurate move, but okay. Now he plays f4. And unfortunately here, I just completely malfunction. Like, he starts putting up some good resistance, like all of these good grandmasters do. They start defending. They start playing quickly. Now I play queen g4 in 7 seconds. Now I play queen d1. And suddenly he's created some barrier. And if I play e4, he has knight e5. Also, if I play e4, he has knight d4. And if queen d4, rook d8, and I'm losing my queen. So I think, oh my God, what have I done? But e4 is still the best move. Because after this, I have knight d3 and I'm getting here. Well, folks, d3, he takes with check. Now I can run my king to safety. Instead, I run my king to the center. And after check, king d5, he takes my other pawn. And if I take, he gives me check. I have no attack. I have no material advantage now. I'm going to lose. So what do? I play queen h5. And rook d8 check. He makes an inaccuracy, but rook e5 is just winning. Rook d8, I thought he was just winning my knight. Rook e5 was winning on the spot to take my knight. 5 games of probably about 40 to 50 with the same thing over and over. In a variety of different ways, of course, but most of them have the same exact kind of pattern where I'm very confident, I'm very comfortable in the first 15 moves, but I never truly, in my head, treat it like another day at the office. Like, I have to maintain a focus, and I have to maintain I'm just going to win this game. Like, I would have this mindset against anybody my level or below. I just panic. I panic, and combined with the fact that my opponents are really good, in order to beat people who are 2,900, 3,000 on chess.com, or 25, 26, 2,700 over the board FIDE rating, you have to beat them multiple times in the same game. A lot of you have to do this too. Like, if you want to beat people who are 300-400 points higher than you, you have to beat those people multiple times in the same game. You have to shut down all of their attempts at getting back into the game, just like in any competitive sport, like in basketball, let's say. You have to shut down comebacks, and you have to be able to deal with the emotional roller coaster of messing something up, giving back some advantage, and then having to do it over again. Sometimes I do succeed. Like, I've won a few games, and sometimes I do hold my nerves. But this is single-handedly the most frustrating, saddening, depressing, aggravating thing about my chess, is that the sweetness of victory for me does not feel any better. In fact, it feels magnitudes worse than the pain of defeat. Like when I win a game, it's a relief. It's not like I'm proud. I don't celebrate. Like losing games hurts so much more for me. Probably because I have an ego, and probably because I think and I know deep down that I can do better, but I just don't. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Get out of here.